66 live matches, 88 hours of bruising encounters, and of the 12 teams that began, only 3 remain. The Aviva Premiership semi-final weekend, live on BT Sport.
You can never prepare too much, but it's the little things that make the difference. My head's got to be sorted. Because we all know what it will probably come down to. I need to be ready for anything. Ready to make it count.
Only way to get first, second, or third Meerkat toy is to get car or home insurance or switch the energy. So compare the market.com. No take them from Papa Alexander. Oh, okay, no, here, look, simples.
Let's go!
The new Lexus IS, amazing in motion.
Gear up for the game. Shop now at nbastore.eu.
Did you know Yellowstone National Park lies on top of an active volcano? This bear has absolutely no idea. Book your flight and hotel together now and save up to 50% on trips to the USA with expedia.co.uk at All Protected.
International GT racing returns to Brands Hatch this Sunday, and we'll have the Blancpain Sprint qualifying live on ESPN at 10:15 with a championship race later at 2:30.
In the energy department, expect Kostas Papanikolaou and Sergio Llull to give off sparks all night as FC Barcelona and Real Madrid take the Final Four stage next.
Vamos a tener que hacer un partido serio, un partido donde hay que jugar a nuestro máximo nivel en los dos lados del juego, ¿no? En defensa y en ataque. Partido de máxima exigencia, como no puede ser de otra manera en una semifinal de Euroliga, ¿no?
If we want to get that rhythm in our offense, we need our defense, we need our rebounding, we need our energy. So it's difficult in basketball just saying about your offense is going to win one game or your defense is going to win. You need both things to get a trophy like this one.
Back at the Mediolanum Forum in Milan, Italy, the joint was jumping before the first semifinal. After the semifinal, there's just an incredible buzz after Maccabi Electra won in the closing seconds with a huge comeback, 67-68 over CSKA Moscow. We're getting ready for the Clásico, as they call it in Spain. FC Barcelona versus Real Madrid. And as you just heard the coaches say, John Rogers, they are expecting that nothing short of perfection can win this game.
Oh, it's going to come down to details. Like big games come down to details. These teams know each other so well. It's going to make a difference. Who can handle the pressure?
And as we watch the introductions being made on the court here in Milan, Italy, who are your wild cards in this game, John? In other words, if that player does well, he can push his team over into Sunday's championship game.
Frank, Real Madrid has so many players, but there's a full-time starter that really doesn't get much credit, and that's Trinell Darden. He could play a big role in this game with his defense. He can hit spot-up shots. He can get on the boards. And for Barcelona, I would like to say Kostas Papanikolaou. I mean, he's never lost at a Final Four, which proves he's big-time, big-game attitude, and he can thrive on pressure, even when the game is played at Real Madrid's pace.
Now we're seeing Real Madrid getting introduced. We're watching some of the video being shown here in the arena. John, let's face it, this team has done it with offense. Some people don't recognize how great they play defense, but their offense is so incredible you can understand it. They broke the EuroLeague scoring record for points in a season this year, but they have so much more going for them as well. 85.2 points per game. Their performance index rating as a team was higher than any other. Led the league in free throw percentage as well, very key in a Final Four, and ranked second in three-point accuracy. As you see, Real Madrid getting introduced on the floor here, making a lot of fun. But they're just an offensive force that obviously Barcelona knows well about from being so close in Spain and playing each other a lot. But that doesn't make it any easier to stop them.
No, they know Real Madrid very well, but you're right. They're going to have to be physical with this team because they're so good offensively. They don't play just 6 players. They go deep on their bench. They've got a very talented bench. You've got guys like Felipe Reyes coming off the bench. You've got J.C. Carroll, who's coming off a knee injury, but he's dangerous. You cannot give him any daylight. He'll just come off the screens and make the three-pointers. You've got Sergio Rodriguez, that we mentioned earlier, the MVP. That's how good he is. He comes off the bench, was able to get this team going. So a lot of times they actually end up with they push the pace and actually do better when their bench players come in. I'd like to mention one player also, Frank. Dante Draper will not play tonight. He's their third point guard, and they miss him. He's a steadying force for them.
He was all season. Here we see the lineup tonight for Real Madrid. Largely the lineup they used all year, except for Dante Draper, as John just said. And J.C. Carroll came off his injury during the playoffs. Hasn't played a ton of time since coming back from a 3-month or 2.5-month injury, but he is back in the lineup and has been playing a few games and is, as John said, capable of laying up. Considering they broke a scoring record in the EuroLeague without J.C. Carroll for 3 months, you have to wonder how much higher they would have gone in that game. Let's turn our attention to FC Barcelona, who, as much as Madrid dominated the first half of the season, as we said, has just been so solid and dominant itself since 2014 rolled around. And they've done it with the great Juan Carlos Navarro, but not having to be a superstar for them to win. Other guys are doing it for this team.
That's right, Frank. And that's actually made them stronger as a team because they haven't had to rely so much on Juan Carlos Navarro like they have in the past. This is a team, Barcelona, they've been to the Final Four the last 4 out of 5 years that we mentioned earlier. But this year, I look at them and I see them a little bit more relaxed. I notice that they don't have the pressure on them as being the heavy favorite that they always have been in the past. Because let's face it, they've dominated the EuroLeague competition the last few years, and everybody's pointing the finger at them, saying those are the favorites. Tonight, they have the chance. They don't have the pressure on them because they're facing a great team in Real Madrid that everybody's saying these are the clear-cut favorites.
And I do believe that Barcelona's the healthiest team at the Final Four. Like they said, they're missing Lorbeck earlier in the season. Juan Carlos Navarro has had his ups and downs and missed the last playoff game, Game 3. But everybody right now is healthy and ready to go tonight for FC Barcelona, part of the confidence they have coming into this game as we get a look at their lineup.
That's right, Frank, and they've gotten better as the season's gone on. They've incorporated a lot of new players to this team, and they're playing the best basketball right now.
Very good point. If you look up and down the lineup, Joey Dorsey came in this season, Papa Nicolau came in this season, Jacob Pullen, a guy we haven't mentioned too much, but he's capable of getting on a hot streak shooting, and it helped them in the playoffs, in fact. Brad Olsen didn't play in the EuroLeague for them last year, but he's only had a half a season before this one with them. And another guy we have to mention is Boki Nakbar. As you look at the starters for Real Madrid, we'll get back to him. Sergio Llull, Rudy Fernandez, Tramel Darden, Nikola Mirotic, and Yanis Berusas. That has been their starting lineup. 3 of them every game this season, and the other 2 almost every game they played. Yanis Berusas every game he played, and Tramel Darden all but 1. So head coach Pablo Laza of Real Madrid going with the guys who brung them here to start the game. They've had the players talk on Real Madrid about having their roles set and that being part of their success, and that has happened all this season in terms of starting.
Exactly right. This team is very well coached by Xavi Pascual. They know exactly what they have to do on the floor. They're very disciplined. They don't take bad shots. They get back on defense. I think tonight another guy. There's so many guys to mention on this team. Barcelona also.
Let's talk about the starters right here. Marcelinho Huertas at the point guard. Brad Olsen at 2. Kostas Papanikolaou at the small forward. Erdem Lorbeck at power forward, and of course Ante Tomic in the center spot for Barcelona, going up against their arch rival. As you take a look at today's referees, Christos Christodoulou of Greece, Ilya Balosevic of Serbia, and Robert Lothar-Moser of Germany will be the men with the whistles. Tonight's Turkish Airlines EuroLeague semifinal, the second one. This team, the winner of this game, will be headed to the championship game on Sunday against Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. And John Rogers, what a way to start the Final Four with a 15-point comeback in 11 minutes to defeat CSKA Moscow 67-68 on a shot by Tyrese Rice with 6 seconds left. Unbelievable, but appropriate start to the Final Four.
That was amazing. It was amazing to watch the celebration after the game, too. You see the fans rushing onto the court. Players were celebrating, but they deserve it. That was an incredible comeback. Just came up clutch in the right time.
We just saw a list of the European champions over the half century or more of European titles, and of course Real Madrid leads that list with 8. CSKA right behind, and Maccabi trying to get closer as well. And Barcelona with 2 titles, but more since the last one of Real Madrid than Real Madrid, so 2003 and 2010. As we get the players out on the floor getting ready to start the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague second semifinal tonight. But before they do that, once again, after years of working together, Special Olympics and EuroLeague basketball, Special Olympics is now a proud partner of One Team, EuroLeague basketball's social responsibility program, which is spreading and growing all across Europe, doing great things with lots of young people, in this case the Special Olympians from here in Milan, Italy, have been a big part of this weekend already. Many of them were out on the court with the Stars yesterday in Piazza del Duomo, the iconic square in the middle of Milan. The young athletes of Special Olympics sharing the spotlight here of the 2014 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four, along with the stars of the EuroLeague. And I tell you, John, from the years of, or the last couple of years of watching this program in action, it's the players, the stars of the EuroLeague teams who come up to me and say, this is just special for me, what they get from the young people they work with across the continent, actually. There's many cities, up to 18 cities across the continent.
This has been a great initiative, Frank, by EuroLeague, and you're right. The players, it's something you can appreciate, to give back, and that's exactly what the Stars have done.
They are doing it here in Milan. They're doing it during the Final Four. The first event yesterday tipped off. The entire Final Four was Special Olympians and EuroLeague stars together. But now it's time.
Your attention, please. Once again,
for the second time tonight.
To extend the EuroLeague basketball its most sincere condolences.
EuroLeague is holding up for a moment of silence, the start of this semifinal as the first one, to extend its condolences on the tragic mining incident in western Turkey earlier this week. EuroLeague basketball wants to honor the victims and extend the best wishes for the recovery of the injured in the Turkish mining disaster this week. After, with this moment of silence, again reinforcing the bonds between the European basketball family and Turkey at this sad moment for that country. with that special moment, special gesture from the players and the management of EuroLeague basketball. We are getting ready for the second semifinal. Ready to go here in Milan, Italy. It's the great El Clasico between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, getting ready to tip off. They'll have a tough time topping the first game, a 15-point comeback by Maccabi, but you can be sure they'll try. Here's tip-off as the ball is controlled finally by Real Madrid. Already a save in the game by Sergio Llull. So Real Madrid with the first chance to strike gets it to Rudy Fernandez. Back to Llull. Llull in the post to Yanis Borussis. Turning on Tomic, drop back, fall back jumper misses, and a rebound taken by Kostas Papanikolaou, giving Barcelona their first chance to score. Marcelino Huertas guarded by Darden. It'll be Olesen against Llull. Papanikolaou on Rudy Fernandez. Papanikolaou gets it back. Olesen in the lane. His foul slapped on his hand as he made his move at the perimeter.
He's grabbed by Sergio Llull on that play. Great ball movement. We're going to see this tonight. A lot of patience by the Barcelona offense. We're going to see a lot of picks. Players going to be coming off screens, moving the ball from one side to the other.
Barcelona will try it again. Inbounds by Huertas to Olsen. To Tomic. And Huertas going to running one-hander off the backboard to get the scoring started.
That's a big basket for Barcelona. I wanted to mention earlier, Huertas is very important to this team. If he can get going offensively, that gives them another weapon. Very important.
Sergio Llull directing the offense for Real Madrid. Another foul off the ball. This one will be called on Brad Olsen. Trying to stop Rudy Fernandez.
Barcelona's going to stay close to Rudy Fernandez. You don't want to give him any space. Expect Rudy Fernandez to draw a lot of fouls tonight.
Real Madrid, second try on this possession, still trying to get on the scoreboard. In the post to Mirotic. He goes all the way to the free throw line to drop a jumper. So found his shot, not where he expected it, but got Real Madrid on the scoreboard.
And some good skills. Put the ball on the floor with his left hand. Good footwork. And that's what his game continues to develop.
Ball swings on the perimeter of Barcelona to Papanikolaou. Olsen gets it back. Lorbeck inside to Tomic. Their all EuroLeague first teamer. Gives it back to Lorbeck for the same jumper from the foul line, but his misses right on the shot clock buzzer. So good defense by Real Madrid.
They got the ball to Tomic in the deep paint. He decided to pass it out.
Fernandez kicks out to Borussis. Gives up the three-pointer to give the ball to Llull. Stop and pop jumper. Sergio Llull has Real Madrid up 4-2.
That was textbook basketball right there. He used his screen so well to clear space. Had a very easy look from mid-range.
Lorbeck hands off to Papanikolaou. He makes his move to the basket and finishes. And gets fouled. Let's see what the call is, whether the basket will count, and it certainly does for Kostas Papanikolaou. And he gets fouled by Yanis Borussis. Nice move by the young man. Hard to call him a young man anymore. He's got 2 EuroLeague titles in his pocket with Olympiacos the last 2 seasons. So after the loss by Kyle Hines and Sesla the first game, he will have a chance to join history by winning 3 in a row with 2 teams. Only one other player has done that, Šarūnas Jasikevičius. 1 with Barcelona and 2 with Maccabi, middle part of the last decade. Papanikolaou makes it a 3-point play. And a Barcelona lead 5-4. Llull inside, rockets it off the backboard. Looked like he was wanting to pass and got the shot off late. Really didn't have a chance. Huertas goes inside to Tomic. Reverse for Ante Tomic. He's on the board as well for Barcelona.
There we go with the skill set. A very good screen. That opened up his roll. He finishes with his left near the basket. He can use either hand in that position.
Darden against Papanikolaou. Turnaround jumper misses. Tomic collects the boards. Huertas on the run. He's given the lane. He takes it. Ball was on the rim and knocked out of bounds by Borussis. It will remain Barcelona ball. But interesting to see Barcelona running on Real Madrid when everybody expects the opposite.
Exactly, but they've done such a good job on the boards, Frank. We see them boxing out, controlling the defensive rebounds, and they're looking for something easy in transition.
Marcelino Huertas said exactly that to me last night in an interview. We'll run when we get the chance, and he did just that with his first chance. Huertas draws another foul. He's been playing real well, John. He's already on the scoreboard, and here he is drawing fouls.
He's being aggressive. He looks comfortable out on the floor right now. He's made some good passes, made some good decisions. He's been here before. He's a veteran in the Final Four.
Third Final Four in a row for him. And several of his teammates have not been able to make it to the final in the last couple of years. Huertas misses on his first free throw. Historically a very, very good free throw shooter. But couldn't get that one down. Drops the second. Marcelino Huertas up to 4 points. And has FC Barcelona head 8-4. Rudy Fernandez, first touch in the lane, first shot off the mark. And the rebound once again, as you mentioned, John. Barcelona controlling the board so far with a 5-1 advantage. Huertas takes another shot and gets fouled.
It's going to be on Darden.
On the landing by Tremel Darden. So Huertas doing his job right off the get-go. I mean, using those screens to either pass or get in the lane. He is the protagonist of this game so far.
Yeah, and he's going to have his work cut out for him because you're talking about some of the best point guards Real Madrid has that are going to be thrown at him. He's going to have a tough game on his hands, but he's gone off to a good start, so his self-confidence should be great right now.
Huertas makes the first free throw to get the lead up to 9. I'm sorry, to get the lead to 10-4, makes both free throws, 6-point lead. But most important trend right here is how difficult it is for the top scoring team in EuroLeague history to score so far against Barcelona's defense. Barus is turning in the paint, tries a hook shot.
Again, Frank, Tomic doing an excellent job underneath, keeping Barus away from the basket.
Lorbeck out top, hands off to Olsen, back to Huertas. And again to Tomic for the slam. Another give and go on a pick and roll. And Huertas and Tomic have come out and set the pace and put FC Barcelona up a quick 12-4 on the scoreboard, for which Real Madrid has called a timeout to try to address the issues, John.
They're going to have to address the issues, definitely, Frank. We see Barcelona swinging the ball from one end of the floor to the other. Barcelona is going to whatever position on the court they want, and it's too easy right now. We got to see Real Madrid get out and deny the leads, jump in the passing lanes. That's what they've done all season. Looks like they've just come out a little shell-shocked.
And we'll have a look at Ante Tomic, 2 years in a row, first team all EuroLeague, and you see why. He's got the deftness of a small player, got the power of a big player, getting the rebounds, slamming the alley-oop passes, and a little reverse as well so far. So between him and Huertas, Huertas is 5 points, Ante Tomic 4 points to this 12-4 lead, and it's up to Real Madrid to react after this timeout. We see the MVP there, Sergio Rodriguez, still on the bench. Nope. Cause for panic in the case of Real Madrid. He usually enters a little later in the first quarter. So
so far Pablo's not changing his substitution patterns. Marcus Slaughter is on the floor, replacing Yannis Barusas, though.
Slaughter in the game. He hands off to Yui. Yui to the basket for a layup. As you saw, Tomic was wary of the lob to Slaughter and didn't challenge Yui, who put the basket down. Some pressure on the ball by Real Madrid. But Barca gets it across half court. Huertas passes off on the baseline jumper to Lorbeck. But look at Tomic rip the rebound. Back to Huertas. Goes to Tomic, fakes the pass inside, outside to Papanikolaou for 3 off the front of the rim. Gets his own rebound.
just great ball movement. We've seen some great passes. Barcelona hasn't been able to connect on these shots, but they're moving the ball so well tonight.
And look at the rebounding already, 6-1 for Barcelona. Huertas, they leave him alone. He misses, but Slaughter comes up with the rebound. And Yui in transition, going to the basket, can't finish. Lots of Barcelona players there, and Papanikolaou comes away with the rebound. Good transition defense by Barcelona.
They got back in time. The big guys weren't all the way back, but you saw the other three players, including Papanikolaou, come in there. Lorbeck was there on the help. And we see Papanikolaou, he's just dying. You could just see he's so eager to get the ball and take it to the basket. We're going to see big Joe Dorsey come on the floor now. He's replacing Ante Tomic, who did a great job, especially starting on the defensive end. I think that gave him confidence on the offensive end to go ahead and do the work, do the damage that he's done all along this season.
And if they're already rebounding well, Joey Dorsey is the best permanent rebounder in the EuroLeague this season. So Madrid is going to have to do something to start taking the ball off the boards as close to Papanikolaou. Tries to up the lead here at the free throw line. As you see there, back-to-back EuroLeague winner last season. No free throws go down, but again, Barcelona gets the offensive rebound. Becoming a trend here midway through the first quarter in the semifinal, second semifinal, the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four. Olsen to Papanikolaou inside to Lorbeck. Lorbeck spins. And Darden gets called for another foul.
Darden didn't like that call. We're going to see the replay here. Lorbeck uses the spin, uses the contact, spins off that. Darden might have got a piece of him there. It's a tough call. It could have gone either way. But if I notice one thing so far, Frank, it looks like Real Madrid's reacting a little bit slower tonight than we're accustomed to seeing.
Step behind, as we saw in the first game. You could say the same about Maccabi for the first three quarters, but they certainly picked up their step in the last quarter to win that game. If you didn't hear, 67-68 in the closing seconds over CSKA Moscow. This winner will go to Sunday's championship game to play for the EuroLeague trophy against Maccabi Electric Tel Aviv. Madrid trying to come back, down 7. Yui to Darden. Mirotic, stop and pop on the baseline, puts it down. They call him Mirotic, nice move.
That's a very tough move to defend. That's a tough matchup for Lorbeck, especially when Mirotic is going away from the basket.
Huertas to Olsen, and an offensive foul, and Joey Dorsey put a little too much of his big body into a screen, got there a little late, you'd have to say. And there you see Rudy Fernandez taking Sergio Yui taking the contact and resulting in a turnover for Barcelona. Now Sergio Rodriguez, the MVP, announced yesterday on the floor for Real Madrid. The lob to Slaughter from Rodriguez, right to the rack, and Real Madrid
beautiful
gets
execution.
Back within 13-10.
Great execution on that play. Very difficult to defend, throwing the ball so high in the air.
A steal by Yui, goes the length of the floor, he will jam, so 2 typical Real Madrid plays in a row suddenly make this a 13-12 game after Barcelona looked like they were comfortably in control. Up by as many as 7, 13-6, but one lob to Slaughter.
That lob seemed to ignite the team. We see Rudy Fernandez there with the perfect assist. And somebody like Slaughter, you have to get a body on him. You mentioned earlier, Tomic was leery of going to help because you cannot leave Slaughter alone. You have to have a body on him. He's capable. They just throw it up in the air above the rim. He's going to go up and slam it in.
Well, you mentioned the great execution, and in that play, it wasn't your typical pick and roll. The ball goes up to the big man. It went to Rudy Fernandez coming off another screen, and that's why Joey Dorsey had to step forward and leave Slaughter alone. But that's exactly how the play was designed, and that's exactly what you didn't see maybe in the early going for Real Madrid was the execution. They got that play, obviously rattled somebody on Barcelona because they just threw the next ball away down court, and Sergio Yui finished it up. Sergio Yui has certainly come to this game ready to play.
Oh, he's another big game player. He's been in so many of them. But when he's on the court, he gives it his all. He makes an impact on the defensive end, and then he just loves to get that ball in open court. Very dangerous.
Top scorer in this game with 6 points, as you see Alex Abrines and Victor Sada come on the floor for FC Barcelona. Lorbeck's still out there with Olsen, the only starters left. Abrines to Olsen, he gets a shot off and hits a three-pointer with a hand in his face. Brad Olsen, good sign for Barcelona.
Again, Barcelona running their offense, getting the shots they want.
Sergio Yui to Rudy Fernandez. Step back three by him. Rudy off the board, but there's Slaughter with the rebound. Passes inside to Mirotic, gets crunched and gets fouled. He'll be going to the free throw line to call up Mirotic.
Give the credit to Slaughter coming up with two hands to get this rebound. He misses the follow-up putback, but Mirotic is in the position. When you see the replay here, Olsen comes off with plenty of space, plenty of daylight. Very dangerous if he's got room to shoot like that.
Olsen was a top scorer in the playoffs for Barcelona. Of course, they had a three-game sweep, so it wasn't as long as the other series. But it shows you what kind of shape he's in right now, especially when Barcelona was not, or at least missed Juan Carlos Navarro in the last game of the playoffs. And Juan Carlos Navarro has not entered this game yet as well. We know he has some injury problems, but he played along the way to the Final Four, and we hope to see him in the game as we see J.C. Carroll join the Real Madrid offense on the free throws to make it 16-14. Barcelona moves it to Olsen out top. J.C. Carroll on the floor for Real Madrid. Victor Sada to the rim, gets it to Joey Dorsey. He's blocked from behind by Mirotic. So Madrid starting to come up with some plays after a lull of more than 5 minutes. Sergio Rodriguez, the MVP with the ball, goes to Mirotic.
He's got an ISO situation. Difficult for Lorbeck to match up in that position because Mirotic can put the ball on the floor, and we saw what he could do right there. You have to get up on him or he's going to knock down the shot.
Great shot, and Nikola Mirotic ties it up, 16-16. Barcelona with the ball in the hands of Olsen. To Lorbeck, looks a little disjointed for Barcelona. They finally get it to Joey Dorsey. He spins and drives to the basket. Can't finish. Lorbeck with the rebound, and he puts it back in. Erasm Lorbeck already with some big offensive rebounds.
Solid effort by Lorbeck. We've seen on both ends of the floor. He's in the right place at the right time. Good touch to finish those plays.
Sergio Rodriguez outside for Real Madrid. 1:30 to play in the first quarter. Mirotic goes baseline, gets fouled. The foul is being called before he attempted his shot, so it will not be, the basket will not count that he hit at the end of it.
We see right now, Xavi Pascual is going to make the adjustment on defense. He's going to bring in Nachbar, with Koki Nachbar, who will have a better chance of defending Nikola Mirotic. It's a tough matchup for Lorbeck in all fairness.
And Real Madrid did the smart thing by taking advantage of the favorable matchup for them. The foul by Lorbeck means that Madrid will take the ball out of bounds now with 1:33 to play in the first quarter. Down 2. We're down by as many as 7, Real Madrid was. Came back and tied it. But Barcelona has not given up the lead yet since the first couple baskets. Sergio Rodriguez from deep. He takes the lead now. The MVP hits his first shot of the game. And that has been the difference in what he always did, passing so well. Now he's a deadly shooter.
What confidence. He just took that ball, came off the screen, just went up, no hesitation at all.
Barcelona goes inside to Tomic on the mismatch, against Slaughter. Slaughter seemed to lose his footing and got called for foul, probably the best option if he was not going to be able to stand up and defend onto Tomic in that moment.
Again, we see Tomic getting great position underneath the basket. He's getting both of his feet are in the paint. And that's very easy for him to do some damage from that position.
Sergio Rodriguez, good form, good start for him to get his offense going. And put Madrid ahead 18-19 after having been down by 7. Onto Tomic, trying to tie it or go ahead. They can do, at the most, he'll be able to tie it after missing the first free throw.
Barcelona's been missing some free throws here. It's very important in this game. You do not like to give away so many free throws.
Of course, Ante Tomic played 4 seasons, I believe, for Real Madrid, and went to his first Final Four in the Real Madrid uniform, playing in Barcelona, as a matter of fact, in 2011. He played the last 2 Final Fours, Tomic with FC Barcelona. A lot of bodies flying as the 2 misses by Ante Tomic leave the score at 18-19. With a minute left in the first quarter, another foul called here on Bostian Nakbar, trying to stop Nikola Mirotic. Will put Mirotic on the free throw line to try to add to Real Madrid's slight advantage. He hits the first free throw.
Smart play by Mirotic here, drawing the attention of the referees. There's some contact. He sold it to the referees. He's on the free throw line. He's a deadly free throw shooter. We see him only make 1 though.
1 out of 2 from Nikola Mirotic, makes it 18-20 in favor of Real Madrid. Victor Sada takes the cross half court for FC Barcelona, and Juan Carlos Navarro in the game, passes off to one of his heir apparents, Alex Abrines, who misses his first 3-pointer. Besides Navarro, Abrines had more 3-pointers than any player on Barcelona this year. Sergio Rodriguez tries to lob over Tomic and doesn't get it. Tomic steals the ball out of the air. Look at the dribble between the legs from behind by Sergio Rodriguez. I guess he's not nervous about playing the Final Four. And if the lob had gone down, that would have been one of the plays of the season. But instead, Ante Tomic was there, plays the defense, draws the foul, and he'll be going back to the free throw line to see if he can tie this up. He was just over 2 there a minute ago.
Yeah, they've missed some opportunities at the free throw line.
So we asked a lot of the Real Madrid players if it was going to be showtime at the Final Four like it was all season. And even head coach Pablo Lasso basically said, we're not going to change anything now. This is how we got here, and this is how we like to play, and we enjoy our basketball, and we think that makes us win.
They don't know any other way to play, Frank. This team gets up and down the floor, and again, we said it many times, they enjoy what they're doing. You see them on the court. They enjoy playing basketball. They have fun playing.
Well, what Sergio Rodriguez just did, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that in the Final Four. Between the legs from behind, with a showtime play. He didn't get it that time, but don't be surprised to see him do something else like that as Ante Tomic makes both free throws and ties it up. 22 seconds left in the first quarter. Rodriguez still dribbling. Gets it to Mirotic, fakes in the lane, gets it stolen by Navarro. 10 seconds left, ahead to Sada. And Sada got ahead of himself and traveled with the ball, leaving 8 seconds for Real Madrid to try to break this tie.
Give JC Carroll credit here. He got back on defense, got in front of Sada, who wanted to go all the way to the basket. We saw Carroll there. He had to shuffle his feet to make it stop.
And for the last 10 seconds of this first quarter, Sergio Yui comes back in the game. Salah Mejri makes his first appearance in the Final Four ever. And Sergio Rodriguez takes his up court, just 5-4. It's going to be Rodriguez from deep. His 3-pointer misses. Not much of a chance for that to go. And then 10 minutes of the Clásico, a rematch of last year's semifinal, won by Real Madrid. After 10 minutes at the end of the first quarter, we have FC Barcelona leading, tied with Real Madrid.